こうしてご飯を食べてると、サトシと一緒にご飯を食べてるみたいで楽しいのです。
Rika-chan mentioned Satoko's older brother's name again. Satoko's chopsticks paused, and she looked up at the ceiling.
懐かしいですわね。一体今頃、どこでどうしてるやら。
Yeah, I wondered that too. She had a faraway smile, as if yearning for a friend who had moved away. She was looking up. She could be thinking that Satoshi is dead at this point. Because, you know, some people are gonna have those lingering doubts. I wonder if Satoshi is still out there, alive somewhere. I guess Satoko has come to the conclusion that Satoshi is dead by this point, wherever he is. From how it looked, I got the impression she hadn't seen Satoshi in quite some time. The reason why I'm saying that is because, well, she looked at the ceiling. What is up there? Well, as far as I remember, there's heaven out there. Or the equivalent of heaven for the Japanese and all that. Satoko realized I was giving her a blank stare.
申し訳ないですわね。
Well, that's a new expression.
サトシっていうのは、私のニーニー。じゃなくて、兄なのですのよ。
Such a cute little face expression right over here. Oh!
そうなんだ。
Such a cute little expression here. Oh! Nini must have been a nickname only Satoko used for him. It was funny to see her hastily deny it.
あんなに生活力のない人に家出なんて解消があったなんてびっくりでございますけど。まあ、そのうち値を上げでひょっこり帰ってくるに決まってますわ。
家出したんだ。
There was another story to what Satoko had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking about it in such an upbeat way, so I continued to talk about him. Should I not have broached the subject at all? I mean, Rika is the one who brought up the name of Satoshi to begin with, so it's not our fault. I hastily took a look at Satoko's face after thinking that, but there was no trace of the gloomy expression I'd been worrying about.
まあ、一人暮らしに憧れるなんて年頃らしい夢ではありませんの。どうせニーニーには長続きするはずもありませんけどね。ご来性のない人ですから。サトシはああ見えてもとても我慢強い人なのですよ。サトコが思ってるよりもずっと我慢強いのです。リカはすぐニーニーの肩を持ちますのね。リカはちょっと甘やかしすぎですのよ。サトコはニーニーに厳しすぎるのです。帰ってきたらもっと優しくしてあげた方が良いのです。
Satoko and Rika-chan's views regarding Nini, a.k.a. Satoshi, were parallel to each other. But I could easily tell that both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic, too. Even though he had to run away from them, it was like they were going to see him again next week. Satoko and Rika-chan both liked Satoshi even now, and waited for him, believing he would surely return. I did say before that Satoko was looking up at the ceiling, meaning that maybe he was thinking that Satoshi is dead by this point, but who knows. They could still have hope. I've never met him, but I know for sure that this Satoshi person was a really good guy. I thought Satoko would be deeply hurt by her brother running away. She had already overcome that. She was still being the energetic little sister, always full of vim and vigor, as if to say that her brother could come back at any time he liked. I thought that Satoko didn't think through anything, and just frolicked and played practical jokes every day. And that was it. Well, she was really... Yeah.
なんで私の頭を撫でますの？
I roughly rubbed a hand through Satoko's hair. Titikilu Satoko.
俺、サトコのことを誤解してたよ。お前がこんなにしっかり者だなんて思わなかった。
Satoko seemed to think I was making fun of her, and tried to bat away my hand. But then she saw that there wasn't even a trace of malice on my face, and immediately granted me her head.
うん。サトコはしっかり者。うんうん。
私は最初からしっかり者でしたよ。圭一さんに合わせて悪ふざけしてあげてたに過ぎませんわ。
There was her usual provocation, but I decided not to buy into it today.
そうだな。俺に合わせてふざけてただけなんだよな。でも本当はこんなにもしっかり者。偉い偉い。
本当に褒めてますの？
Yes, it is. Like I get such a sweet little baby.
なんだかバカにされてるような。
俺は全然バカにしてないぞ。真面目に褒めてる。バカにしてるときはリカちゃんも一緒に撫でるからな。
それもそうですわね。リカは人を小バカにするときよく頭を撫でますものね。缶詰のイワシさんが美味しいのですよ。
Rika-chan went, Nipa! And her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was clear as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Satoko and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself is so dull and simple that I never even thought people could be laughing like this around it. And then, I finally came to realize something really obvious.
笑いながら食べる食事って美味しいよな。
もちろんなのですよ。笑いはご飯を美味しくするのです。失礼ですわね。ご飯が美味しいのは私のお料理が美味しいからに決まってますわよ。
This harmonious moment, this happy circle, is completely different than spending time with family, but still somehow nostalgic.
サトコはニーニーに会いたいか？
ニーニーなんて言ってませんですわ。兄とお呼びなさいですわ。
Hey, wait, you've been saying Nini this, Nini that this whole time. I grinned wryly and decided to just call him brother, like she told me to.
サトコは兄貴に会いたいか？
Rika-chan stopped eating, then looked back and forth between my face and Satoko's. Satoko was smiling. She looked like she was trying to choose her words. And just from that, Satoko conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished he would come home right now. But she wasn't that weak. Satoshi should just do what he wanted until he was satisfied. In return, she let him have the scolding of his lifetime. Then she'd have dinner with him and lay out his food on for him.
会いたいかと言われれば、もちろん会いたいに決まってますわね。もうすぐで1年になりますもの。
It's been that long already. Rika-chan smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away.
まあ、ニーニーの好きにすればいいのですわ。少しでも生活力を身につけて、たくましくなって帰ってきてくれれば、私の負担も軽くなるわけですし。
ほら、またニーニーって言った。
言いましたですね。言ってませんわよ。
Yes, he did.
ニーニーのことをニーニーなんて言いませんわよ。
Nini. Oh my god. I just did that. I just did those sounds before because I was imitating Satoko's cutesy wootsy way of of talking when she was getting flustered back in the first episode, in like the first part of this. Now I have an extra reason for me to just go ni on him on her. Because of how cute she is at times. Things rapidly returned to the usual, lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school. But nothing changed about Satoko's feelings towards her brother. She was living so bravely and so strongly. Hey, Satoshi. Your sister's trying so hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give it a rest, and come back soon, got it?
Satoko, そろそろお片付けをしないとお眠になる時間なのです。
Yeah, right? It's time for us all to go a mimir. All of us babies. It was when we were all watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Rika-chan let out a big yawn and then spoke. Satoko and I both then looked at the clock and noticed how late it had gotten. No. Perhaps we both realized it already. We just didn't want this warm moment to end. No. Maybe we didn't want to say anything.
いけませんわね。まだ食器を洗っていませんでしたわ。
いいよ、そんなの。
I mean, you know, we just have like a pajama party, and you girls can stay over the night, and we can deal with the dishes like in the morning and such. That way, we go to school. We're gonna tell Rena what happened here. That we had dinner together, and we even had like a PJs, like a PJ party right over here. Ooh, Rena is gonna be mad because she didn't take part in it. Because imagine that Rena, she loves Rika and Satoko so much. Seeing them in PJs, whew, that will send her to the moon.
それくらい俺がやっておくよ。飯をごちそうになって食器まで洗わせるわけにはいかないよ。
Then again, it kind of makes me think back on what she said before about helping us in case bad things happen. Maybe she's stalking us, and she sees this.
本当に大丈夫ですの？慣れない人が洗うとお皿とか洗剤で滑って落としちゃいますわよ。
Jeez, she's turned into a perfect nagging little sister. It was charming. And awkward. Emotions like that were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vague, dry smile.
圭一だってお皿くらい洗えますですよ。割ったお皿で怪我をしたら明日学校でかわいそしてあげますです。わー。
Rika-chan yawned again, so wide you could see her molars.
本当に大丈夫ですの？圭一さんって見かけと違って随分と頼りない方でございますからね。
やれやれ。聡子の中の圭一株は大暴落みたいだな。安心しろ。皿くらいきっちりと洗ってみせるぞ。安心して帰れ。っていうか、こんな時間じゃ聡子たちだけに帰らせられないよな。
You got a point.
家まで送るよ。自転車の鍵を。
私たちを送った後、一人で家に帰るの圭一さんではありませんの。
Let's just say that for the start of this story, Keiichi does have some immunity. So, it's whatever.
夜道に迷って、高津戸あたりに迷い込んだら大変ですのよ。
Actually, that would be kind of a twist. Like, you would think that for this chapter, we go through the usual Keiichi perspective, like always. But now, at the beginning right over here, we take the girls to their homes, we get killed, like, in the middle, and then we switch to one of the girls' perspective. That would be quite a twist.
あのあたり、お家も明かりも全然ありませんから。
I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. I mean, you know, all the more reason for us to have like a PJ party. No, except they don't have their PJs, so they're gonna end up sleeping like this. Am I really that unreliable? She really has been credible, but yeah. This feeling I have, it's not bad. so I ended up not needing to escort them. I saw Satoko and Rika-chan to the gate.
今日は本当にありがとうな。
Yeah, I won't worry. They have some immunity for this as well.
おかげでとても文化的な夕飯にありつけたよ。
At least for now.
さとこが来なかったら今頃圭一はグーグーでニャーニャーだったのです。
Stop! You're so goddamn cute with these noises.
本当ですわね。ほんと来てよかったですわ。
They really saved me. I gave them another bow filled with gratitude. I gave them another God damn it, it's just the same fucking word every single time. Bow, okay. I gave them another bow filled with gratitude. Why do I have such problem
そう
with
そう
that?。
ご飯とおかずの残りをタッパーに詰めておきましたから、明日はそれをお弁当になさいませ。あと、明日の朝食は食パンとジャムがいいですわね。いちごジャムとピーナッツバターが冷蔵庫中段の右端にありましたわ。あと、粉末ココアが食器棚の右上の戸の中に。
I know all that. You don't have to go into detail. I was about to say that, but I decided to humbly listen to her. It was then that I finally realized that Satoko, who had appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great one, just like Rika-chan had said. And that, though she nagged a lot, she was very kind.
では、おやすみなさいなのですよ。寝る前にはちゃんと歯を磨くんですのよ。5分以上かけてしっかりと磨きなさいませ。
Like them giving us like lessons. Like we are the babies here.
わかったよ、さとこ。ちゃんと歯も磨くし、明日の朝飯も用意する。弁当も忘れないようにするよ。
いつもより早めに起きないと朝食やお弁当の支度ができませんわよ。なんなら少し早いくらいの時間に目覚まし代わりに電話して差し上げましょうか。
Oh my god.
そこまでしてくれなくても大丈夫だよ。目覚まし時計を少し早めにセットしておくことにする。
Yeah, I mean, as far as I remember, Keiichi, he does wake up in time for school and such. I don't remember him oversleeping. Unless we're talking about those days where he was sick or he was fearing for his life, but other than that, he's fine.
ありがとな。いろいろと気にしてくれて。
Satoko looked like she had more fault finding to do. Well, she stopped, and leaving me with a good night, got on her bike and disappeared down the nighttime road. Bye bye, you little munchkins. Yeah. Rika-chan went to do the same, but then remembered something and came back.
どうしたリカちゃん、忘れ物か？
今日の圭一は100点満点でした。
Oh, thank you, little one.
パチパチパチなのです。
Pachi, pachi, pachi. Rika-chan suddenly complimented me. She clapped her small hands. What was she on about?
別に褒められるようなことはしてないだろう。危うく自宅を火事にするところだったし。
さとこもきっとニーニーが帰ってきたような気がして、
Yeah.
とても楽しかったと思いますです。たまにこれからもさとこのお小言に付き合ってあげてほしいのですよ。
さとこに小言を言われる頼りない兄貴。サトシの代わりになってやれっていうことか？
I mean, that sounds like an easy job. Rika-chan didn't say anything. She just smiled and went all Nippa. Oh, come on. I only heard her say Nippa like once, and then we had to we had to say it out loud in narration like 3 times. That's like 3 to 1. Come on. I want to hear it.
サトシってさ、こんなにもできた妹と一緒で何が不満だったんだ？俺がサトシだったら絶対に家出なんかしないぞ。
サトシにはサトシなりの事情があったのです。きっと。
I didn't know what he was unhappy with. But whatever the reason, it was no excuse for abandoning Satoko. It would be during the time like when the festival happens. I feel like at this point, at that point, like last year, they would have already thought about the curses and all that. So they would think that Satoshi disappeared because of the angering of Oyashiro. That or that whole spiel about going into the abandoned second place from like last time, if you remember, where we found all the horrific punishment tools and such. Yeah, because of that, he's gone. The point I'm trying to make is, do they maybe think that Satoshi just disappeared on his own? That there is an actual reason for that?
I
mean, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise after we go through these chapters and we basically think through this whole mystery and figure out some stuff about what is going on, like what is truly going on. Like maybe they are thinking of some stuff, like they truly know some stuff more than we know, which obviously that seems to be the case. But what that is, I don't know. But they surely know something about Satoshi's disappearance.
俺じゃ多分本物のニーニーの代役はいつまでも務まらないぜ。
大丈夫ですよ。今日の圭一はサトシそっくりだったのです。またお願いしますなのですよ。
Yeah, that's what will make Satoko happy. And take it on this easy roll whenever I needed to. Yeah.
リーカー
Satoko stopped her bike under a distant exterior light and called out to her friend, who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited.
では、僕はもう行きますですよ。おやすみなさいなのです。
Alright. Oyasumi, little baby.
あ、おやすみ。
僕ではサトシの代わりをできませんが、圭一ならできます。これで、僕も心の荷が一つ下りましたのですよ。
Leaving me with that, Marika-chan sped off on her bike. She rode up next to Satoko, and then the two disappeared in the blink of an eye.
サトシ、本当に早く帰ってきてやれよな。
Yeah.
あんまり帰りが遅かったら。
I'll punch you right in the nose. Let's try our best until that day comes, Satoko. Even if I could no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles, I stood there for a while, seeing them off. Satoko's Trap Course, Elementary. Trap Course? Are we gonna study the ways of seeing traps? Oh my.
俺が保証する。サトコならこの山で籠城して一個師団相手くらいなら十分にあしらえるに違いない。
Okay. Let me just stand here and talk about something here, folks. I have this crazy idea that just popped into my mind. Like, let's sit around the table or sit around the campfire and, well, let me tell you some of my thoughts about something. Like a crazy idea right over here. We kept talking about parallels between Satoshi and Keiichi in like the first chapter, second chapter, and, well, now plainly spilling it to us like right here with Satoshi and Keiichi being seen as a little brother that Satoko takes care of. Like I remember when I was doing my first investigation video for like the first season, and I did mention the idea that hey, maybe there's this organization that is taking people in order to experiment on them, in order to either find a cure or try to, I don't know, do something in order to advance the infection or something, like spread this weird thing that is happening to all the people, like during the Watanagashi. I wonder, like, imagine if they actually took Satoshi, like last year, and they did their experiments and all that. And then, well, Satoshi comes back to Hinamizawa, but not as Satoshi, but as this guy, as Keiichi. Keiichi is basically Satoshi. He is just cloned or like changed. I don't know. For what reason they would do such a thing, I don't know. It's a crazy idea, but I wonder if that's ever gonna happen. That all this time, Keiichi was actually Satoshi all along. He just changed his appearance. Like, that actually gives more of a power or more of a feeling that the girls would have towards Keiichi, because not only does Keiichi remind them of Satoshi because of his actions and such, but because of the aura that Keiichi emanates that is similar to Satoshi, because he was Satoshi previously. And now especially Satoko. Like, Satoko would feel like Satoshi in Keiichi. Just imagine. About the parents thing, well, we could talk about that whole erasing memories and creating new memories for Keiichi. Like, we're going down that road where Keiichi's memories of his past, like as childhood and such, they're all fabricated. And his parents, they're actually just a bunch of scientists that were responsible for changing Satoshi into Keiichi. Imagine. I wouldn't want that to happen though. No. But it would be something, I guess.
私は知ってるよ。サトコはとある国の特殊部隊に招聘されてトラップの訓練教官をやってたんだ。
そんな変な話はいいから誰か助けて。
What? What happened? How did it come to this? What traps did we fall for, and how did we fall for them? We almost caught in a purposely thin pitfall she couldn't escape from, and only her head was poking above the ground. What the fuck are you doing there, Mion? Are you pretending to be a bug or something? A plant? Rena's head was completely covered by a tin bucket. She was squirming around in a vain attempt to remove it. Either of these really were funny, but that's where it ended. At least they had their feet on the ground.
ケイちゃんの方はどう？抜けられそう？早く抜け出しておじさんを助けてよ。
抜け出して助けるのはミオンの方だ。このスマッキ状態の俺に何をしろと言うんだ。
What the fuck? What is the context between? I mean, I would think that Satoko and Erika are the ones responsible for this, but what led to this? Was it just spur of the moment? They just decided to prank them without any reason? Is this the result of a punishment? I was wrapped up in a bamboo mat and hanging 2 meters above the ground. What was this trap and how did I fall into it? You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. Yes, I fucking do. Huh? Yo, Satoko! This all started when they suggested that I was familiar with nature, having grown up in the city, and proposed a little exploration on the mountain. Mountain hike?
でもレナもよく裏山は知らないよ。レナじゃ迷子になっちゃう。
裏山ね。小さい頃はよく遊んだけど、ここ何年かはさっぱりだな。あそこ道を誤るとかなりデンジャラスに迷うんだよな。
裏山なら私たちにお任せですわよ。山が丸ごと私とリカの遊び場なんですもの。
The whole thing is your playground.
ねえリカ。
Me.
おお、それは心強いな。じゃあここは二人の顔を立てて二人の道案内でハイキングと行こうじゃねえか。
でも圭一くん、裏山は迷うから遊びに行っちゃいけないって夏休みのしおりにも書いてあるよ。まだ夏休みではありませんですから大丈夫なのですよ。僕たちが道を知ってますからご安心なのです。
Ha. What a loophole.
裏山は昔から私たちの遊び場でございますもの。庭も同然。抜け道、近道までバッチリでございましたよ。
Yes, both Satoko and Rika-chan knew the path like the back of their hands. Thanks to them, we had our fill of fresh air, gorgeous views, and Mother Nature, the likes of which you could never see in the village. But things got strange partway through.
そうそう皆さん。ここからは私が歩いた足跡の通りに歩くんですわよ。
は？突然何を言い出すんだ？
おとなしくさとこの言うことを聞く方が身のためなのです。あれれ？ねえみーちゃん、ほらこれなんだろうね。引っ張るのかな？かな？
Suddenly, squeak, crash. When Rena pulled the kite string, a bundle of bamboo spears fastened to a tree branch all came running down with a clatter right next to where Rena was standing. Eee!
何これ？何？
Jesus Christ!
懐かしいのですよ。これは確か2年生の2学期にさとこが作ったトラップなのです。
Oh my god, this is so dangerous right over here.
危なかったですわね。竹襟の先端には犬の糞が塗ってありますから、傷になると後で腐り出しますわよ。
ここはいつからゲリラの戦場になったんだ？
According to Satoko and Rika-chan, earlier in elementary school, Satoko had been on a trap-making craze and set them up along every inch of this mountain.
圭一くん、ひょっとして裏山が立ち入り禁止なのは迷うからじゃなくて危ないからじゃないのかな。
But like because Satoko did all this, like the entire village was like, oh, well, the forest is now the domain of the witch Satoko. Like no matter how much we try to go through that forest, we cannot survive it. Like going past it. Like no matter what, it's impossible. So they just leave it behind. Mion and I both nodded wholeheartedly at Rena's hypothesis.
さ、先を急ぎますわよ。
I imagine that's one of the reasons why like some of the past Watanagashi victims have died. I mean, you know, we found the Mio Takano like burnt last chapter. I know they said it was like outside the prefecture, but nonetheless they did find her. Maybe it was like in this forest. And the reason why she died, it was because of Satoko's traps. That's problem solved. Okay. Yeah. I know that I didn't do like an investigation video for chapter 2, mainly because, well, it took us a really long time to start chapter 3 and I didn't want to delay it like anymore. I really wanted to see my babies right here. So we're gonna do an investigation video for chapter 3. No matter how long it will take, it will be done. We'll see what I will have after chapter 3. That end, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I have like that much stuff to talk about for chapter 2, to be quite honest. Like, off the top of my head. I should have reread some of my notes for chapter 2 and all that, but I just didn't really have much stuff to talk about. And I was thinking about the whole Mio Takano thing. And how she was apparently still alive during the preparation of the Watanagashi. Like, we've seen her. We were all at the sacred grounds before Watanagashi, and she was there. But then apparently we found out at the end of chapter 2 that she was dead even at that point, long before the Watanagashi. So it kind of makes you question, like, what the hell happened here? Well, I feel like the only idea that I have in mind was that Mio Takano that we've seen, like, at the sacred grounds, that was not Mio Takano. Maybe she was a twin. Maybe it was someone else disguised as Mio Takano. That's basically the only idea that I have in my mind. Other than that,
早く戻らないと暗くなってしまいますわ。暗くなったら私だって危ないでございますからね。
But you're the one who brought us to this crazy mountain. I was an average healthy Japanese boy like me, being forced to deal with life-threatening booby traps. And then, in the very moment Satoko and Rika-chan got just out of sight, was when the three of us all got caught in nice little traps together.
誰か出してそんなことより誰かこのバケツ取って前が見えない
おいレナ、あんまり暴れるな。パンツが見えるぞ。
見た見たケイチコが見た
Smash, crash, smash, smash, but
見えてるだろ絶対。バケツや。ごほら。
Bucket Venom was using me as a sandbag, and Mion was crying.
落とし穴から抜けられなくてかわいそなのです。もう皆さん、だから言いましたでしょ。私から離れたらいけませんでしたよって。
You did it on purpose. I finally had an epiphany. Satoko had been so bent on talking everyone out the mountain because she wanted to brag about all the traps she set up here over the years. Well, I guess so. Maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe they didn't want to have us all set. Like, maybe they didn't want us to fall into traps just like that. Maybe they did want to brag about the traps that they've made just like that. And it was not on purpose for us to fall into traps. It was completely an accident. Hopefully. You could have stopped just at showing them to us. I didn't need to experience how it felt firsthand. Yuki-chan pets our three heads in sequence, in an incredibly satisfied mood. Patch. Alright. Well, that's lovely. Alright. Myon gleefully announced the beginning of lunch.
いよいよお昼の時間でしたよ。この中の一人が罰ゲームになるんですわよね。
Alright, let's see who's gonna be the one punished. I mean, now that we had that whole thing that happened last night, and we have Satoko's bento right over here, are we really gonna fail? Unless Satoko and Rika are gonna tell everybody what happened, and, well, Keiichi just lost because he almost burnt the house.
はあ、今日の罰ゲームはちょっと怖いからね。レナ、悪いけど思いっきり真剣に作ってきたよ。
In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously. Alright.
僕たちもそれぞれに頑張りましたのですよ。
今日はさとこもリカちゃんもそれぞれに別々に作ってきた。いつもは2人一緒のお弁当だけど、今日は一緒だと勝負にならないからね。
そこは大丈夫ですのよ。リカも私もちゃんとそれぞれに用意させていただきましたのよ。わあ、さとこちゃんもリカちゃんも頑張ったんだね。楽しみ楽しみ。
ちょっと意外だったのはケイちゃんがちゃんとお弁当を用意できた点かな。ケイちゃんもさすが、やればできるみたいじゃない。
I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. Yeah. My bento today had been made entirely by Sadoko last night. He had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything there that they could praise me for.
ケイチくんのお弁当はどんなだろう。はう、楽しみ。
そんな大したものじゃないから期待するなよ。夕べのご飯のお惣菜の残りが詰めてあるだけだし。
お夕食の残り物はお弁当の基本なのですよ。夕べのケイチさんのお夕食も分かって一石二鳥ですわね。
Was it really better to hide the fact that Satoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed that I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chie-sensei and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100-story window. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die.
でもみーちゃん、今日のお弁当勝負ってどうやって勝敗をつけるのかな。ケイチくんもちゃんと作ってこれたんだから、今日はこれで引き分けで決着なんじゃないのかな。
So it was either like Keiichi doesn't make his bento, in which case he will be the loser like instantly, or he does make bento and we call it a draw. What the fuck?
それもそうですわね。
That's what you guys were talking about? We weren't even gonna analyze the food at all. It was either these two options.
昨日の罰ゲームはケイチさんに自炊を促すための葉っぱみたいなものですし。
I guess there's also that.
ケイチもちゃんと作ってこれましたから引き分けなのですよ。
My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento that I made to win. I fully understood Satoko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peacefully. Peaceably? That's the first time I'm seeing that word. I thought it said peacefully. Peaceably. However, the club president, Mio Sonozaki, would not be convinced by something like that. Okay.
何を甘っちょろいこと言ってるんだか。白黒つけない灰色勝負なんて絶対ごめん。
Yeah, you got a point. Our club is that extreme.
ぶつかったら決着つけなきゃ。手打ちして引き分けなんてヤクザの世界だけなんだからね。
And we know that Mion's family has some ties with the Yakuza and all that. I mean, damn, like Mion is saying that our club activity is even more extreme than freaking Yakuza's. My god.
言うと思ったぜ。勝負好きのミオンがこのまま終わらせるわけないよな。
This was bad. At this rate, I'm sure to be the sole loser. But, no. I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss. No, hold on. Let's hear what they have to say first.
ではみー、どうやって勝敗を決めますですか？
相互採点じゃ公平な採点にならないからね。ここは公開審査と行こうじゃない。
Are we gonna have somebody else judge our food? Can we have like the two kids? That way we can manipulate them to our side.
みんな全員集合。
Mion commanded everyone who had just started eating, using her club president voice.
おじさんたち5人のお弁当を採点してもらうよ。ベスト3までを紙に書いて投票すること。いいかな？